So it would be helpful for us maybe to think about what would Jesus have meant when he said salt of the earth? Because we kind of know now, we have a word for when a person is a salt of the earth kind of person, we just go, they're down to earth, they're a real person, genuine, what you see is what you get kind of person. That's what we say. But what would Jesus have meant by being the salt of the earth? And so I guess we have to just quickly think about, well, what are the roles of salt? What were the roles of salt in that time? I mean, we essentially use salt today for flavoring our food and having a bath after you've got sore muscles.
If you're lucky enough to have a bath.
If you're lucky enough to have a bath. That's about it, right? But it was much richer in its meaning, in its usefulness. I mean, salt preserved. They didn't have refrigeration systems, so salt was a preservative. It slowed down the purification or the putrefaction process. Didn't stop it, just slowed it down. So it was used for kind of that whole, preservation. It was used for...
Like making beef jerky.
Like beef jerky,
They
exactly.
Got to go for
It's a funky thing to do.
Yes.
But that was how they preserved meat in that day.
That's mostly what they would have eaten.
That's
traveling around.
Salted meat. That's right. That was a pretty standard way to eat because otherwise meat would go off in a hurry. So, yes, exactly. While it's something you do with your in a hobby now, it was the way they lived.
And they had it nearby in the Dead Sea, I suppose.
That's right. There's an abundance of salt, lots of it. So it's everywhere around there. Yes, the Dead Sea is one of the saltiest places, on the saltiest water bodies on Earth, and you can get crystals of salt from there, huge crystals of salt. So, yes, there's plenty of it around. Good for, as I said, was used for therapeutic processes. So the Dead Sea would be used for all kinds of day spa treatment. It was the original day spa because of the salt. It's used for purification. So, you put salt on a wound to heal a wound. They still do that today. You can still do that, although we have more advanced ways of doing it. Of course, it was and still is used for enhancing flavour. And it also had a covenantal symbolism, if you like. It was part of what they would put in offerings. And in that context, it was used sort of representing faithfulness. It had a metaphorical meaning of faithfulness, or when I'm seizing an offering with salt, I'm saying there's part of me is going to be preserved in that offering. So it had a metaphorical context. So they're the sorts of things, I guess, the background to what the disciples are hearing or what they're loading up in their brain when they're hearing Jesus say, "You are the salt of